How is everybody doing that is watching this? I want to say thank you for watching. My name is Justice Wallace, and I'm here with a special guest, another special guest today. I'm gonna let him give a brief introduction. Tell us who you are, where you from, and what you do.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Coach Clarence C.J. Johnson. I'm originally from Queens, New York. I graduated from Johnson C. Smith University in 1979. I came to Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was one of the best things that ever happened in my life.
So have you? What do you do? Tell the people what you do now.
Well, currently, I'm the coach, the girls basketball coach at Mallard Creek High School. I've been there since the school opened. I'm getting ready to go in. I'm getting ready to retire and go into I've got 2 more years left, and then I'm currently going to pass the torch to a young lady named Carlin Dixon. But I've been at Mallard Creek for 14 years. 12 as head varsity coach, and 2 as the JV coach. Before then, I was at Independence High School, and I was the assistant coach there. And a lady by the name of Erica Turner brought me to Mallard Creek. And actually, Erica Turner now is the athletic director for the entire county. She just got the job, so we're really excited about that.
So you know Tony Huggins, right?
Know Tony Huggins very well.
Yeah.
I know Hug. I go way back. I mean, Hug, and Ron, and a couple of other guys. They played ball for me when they were young guys coming through.
So how did you meet my dad, and how did y'all come about?
Well, basically, I had let me back up. My first job out of college was with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. So I got a chance to meet a lot, your dad and Tony Huggins, and a lot of the guys when they were young guys coming through middle school and high school. And like I said, my first job was at Milton Road Boys and Girls Club. And then after that, I went to the Boys and Girls Club in North Charlotte. So I met a lot of those guys when they were growing up. Actually, they were even younger. They were younger than you. Yeah, they were high school, middle school, and high school guys.
Did you play basketball all throughout high school and all throughout college? What was your experience like with that?
Well, I played basketball in high school. Unfortunately, I didn't play in college, but in high school, I went to what they call a Catholic high school in New York, and I played basketball in New York, and it was a great experience. As a lot of people know that follow basketball, that's one of our biggest sports in the 5 boroughs of New York, Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn. And, we live and dream and eat and breathe basketball. So I got a great upbringing that way.
My next question is, what made you realize that you wanted to be a coach?
I think, well, first of all, I think God put me, this was a ministry that he sent to me. I think one of the things that I guess inspired me to be a coach is I like being around young folk, and I had good relationships with, I developed good relationships with young people, and that kind of encouraged me. And plus I love sports so much. So that really helped me get connected. And then from that point on, these things just started to multiply.
Okay. Did you have any aspirations in between high school and coaching job? Is there anything that you wanted to do that you didn't get to do because coaching came around, or was it just coaching immediately?
No, I always wanted to be either a teacher or a guidance counselor. So I kind of stayed in that career path. So I was blessed, I got a job right out of college, which was good. That got me involved in recreation and sports, and then a lot of great things happened. I got involved in AAU basketball and junior college basketball and middle school basketball. So I've done all the different levels. So that's really when I found out. Wow, this is pretty cool. I think this is something that I enjoy.
Now, who? Now, I think we discussed this, and my dad told me that you coached Jeff McGinnis. Is that correct?
Correct. I had
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
My fault.
Jeff, I was fortunate. I coached an AAU basketball for at least 10 years.
Mm.
And one of the best teams I ever had is I had Jeff McGinnis, Thad Bonaparte, Jerry Stackhouse, Jeff Caples, and a host of TJ Johnson, a host of other great guys. And we played in the national championship against Island Iverson and Joe Smith. And actually, Iverson was a rising junior, and Jeff and Stack and all them were rising seniors. And that was our first experience of checking out AI, and that was a great experience. We lost to them in the championship by 2 points, and it was a great game. We played in the Coliseum in Winston Salem, but the unique thing about that is all the teams I had before that got us to that point, because I had some great teams that either made it to the Final Four or the national championship, and those guys kind of set the foundation for that team.
What other? Now, you gave a couple of players. Are there any more players that really stuck out to you as far as before you were coaching where you are now?
Well, see, being the fact that I coached girls and guys, on the guys' side, I had guys like Mario Hansen, Larry Crowder, Rodney Farrington. I had a lot of guys in your dad's era that were real good. And like I said, Keith Isom, just some great teams. Marcus Talley, Vajik Best, Patrick Herring, Maceo Boland. We had some Junior Barrows. We had some special. Charlotte has always had some special athletes, and I think us as coaches, we just wanted to make sure that we help focus them and get them in the right direction so that they can take advantage of some of their opportunities.
So now that you've seen them grow, do you still talk to a lot of these players or a lot of these people just outside of basketball, check up and see how they're doing and whatnot?
Right. Well, we stay because of basketball and because opportunities like this. We stay in contact. Like a couple of those guys. Like I know one of the questions you asked earlier is which ones some of those guys coach. Jeff's a big coach now, and Stack is at Vanderbilt, and Caples is doing his thing in Pittsburgh, and we've got a lot of guys guys and ladies doing things on the high school level. Because coaching is not for everybody. You definitely got to have people skills, and you got to know what you're doing, because everybody's in the young players' ears now. So you've got to be able to help them see through a lot of that.
Okay. So now I want to get into the real meat and potatoes of this interview. So how long have you been coaching? I've
been coaching. It's kind of scary. I've been coaching for 40 years.
So what are some mental hurdles that you have dealt with over the years, as far as like seeing what you need to do to become better, helping other players, helping them see, farther down the line, as far as not just basketball right now, but you can do so much more? What are some things that you have dealt with as a coach?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're hurdles, but they're one of the biggest things that I've always tried to do is help guys learn that they can use basketball, number one, to go to school for free. Basketball is a tool. It's a tool that open up a lot of doors for them, because a lot of guys you play with, if you stay in contact with them, they do all different types. You got some guys that are educated, some guys are lawyers, some guys are doctors, some guys are in real estate, some guys play golf, and it's real important to stay involved with your network. The biggest challenges that I have now is that coaches don't have as much control as they had when I first started, because with summer ball and travel ball and winter ball and fall ball, it's the high school coach has a tough time now competing against all that. And that I think NCAA has a little bit to do with that, because they set up only designated times that the coaches can come out and look at the kids. So it's a lot of challenges. That would be my biggest hurdles, is now making the adjustments to deal with summer ball and things of that nature.
So my next question would be, when you got started, you said you started at Mallard Creek when they
Well,
first opened.
yeah, but let me go back. As far as the Mallard Creek is reaping all the rewards of all the things before then, because like I said earlier, I I coached. Coaching is a process. So each level I went, I learned a little bit more. Again, I started out doing recreation basketball. Then I went from recreation basketball, I went to middle school basketball. Then I was fortunate enough, I did Division II college basketball at my alma mater, and that was a great experience. Then I went to Division I basketball, where I coached with a high school buddy of mine, Division I in Boston. And so I was able to see all the different levels of basketball, which a lot of folk don't get opportunity to do that. And that really helped with my development.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you okay, we can break this down like this. So at each school or each step of your career,
Mm-hmm.
what were some expectations that you had going into each job? Some expectations at Independence, at Mallard Creek, or when you were coaching AAU, or even when you was coaching recreation ball? What were some expectations that you put on yourself as a coach?
Well, to teach the game the right way, to teach them how to play together as a team, that you can play together as a team and win. You don't. It doesn't. It's not. You don't have to be individualized. It takes all your teammates in order to win. I was fortunate. Every team I've ever had, the biggest thing was to teach them that in order for us to be successful, all of us have got to be successful,
Mm.
because it's going to be times, different situations come. Somebody gets hurt, something happens, somebody gets sick, and it's the next man up. So I think the biggest thing throughout my whole steps of coaching would be teaching the concept of being a team, and teaching the game the right way, and mentally preparing yourself. We took it serious. No matter what level it was, mentally getting yourself prepared to play hard and do the right things.
Okay. Now, as for you as a coach, how would you describe your coaching strategy as far as offense and as far as defense goes? Like, give me a
Okay.
breakdown of how you see the floor from the sideline.
Well, I try to keep it simple.
Mm.
That's number one. Um, I try to focus the offense based on the talent level that I have. The more talent you have, then of course the more things and more plays and things that you can add on. But I try to make the game real simple. The biggest piece is on the defensive end, is guarding your man, pressing your man, and putting pressure on the other team to turn the basketball over. I think most of my teams, I would say 70% of our scoring is done through our defensive play. So I think that's a key thing. We like to play up tempo.
Mm.
I like to run. I like to be in good shape. And I think if you're in good shape and you play hard, that rewards you. Because folk enjoy up tempo game, but you got to have the right players for it. But I try to help get the players in shape so that we can play up tempo basketball.
Okay, I didn't I didn't put this question on the list, but I have to know, what were your summer workouts like for your players? I need to know.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you say that because in the beginning, summer workouts was basically getting them involved in their summer programs. In other
Mm,
words, they played AU basketball, they played summer basketball. That's when they did a lot of that. But I spent a lot of time summer workouts on weight training and shooting the basketball and developing your shot and developing foot speed and things that you need to work on your game. Because summer you should spend that's when you spend on your crafts, handling the basketball, foot speed, rebounding, and things of that nature. So that when you come back, it's just all fun. But I encourage them to play summer ball because you need to play under the whistle. You need to play team ball and things of that nature. So I encourage them to play summer basketball.
okay. Um, Now, what? Who are some like NBA or NCAA coaches that you pull the most similarities from? That you would say.
Oh, well, I would let me list it this way. Some of the biggest influences that I've had in coaching would be um, Steve Joyner at Johnson C. Smith,
Hmm.
Robert Moore at Johnson C. Smith, John Thompson at Georgetown. I just love the way, and I didn't personally know him, but I observed his program and what he did for young people. I like Nolan Richardson because he created the amoeba. He guarded you from the time you came out of the locker room.
Hmm.
I like that concept. And then and then of course Dean Smith because of the fact that Dean Smith, a lot of it was his program. Because of course, in order to do some of the things you have to have exceptional athletes. But I like the fact that his program and his guys over the years have always stayed connected. So that was a big thing for me in developing a program that we constantly stay in contact with each other because at any point we might be able to help each other. But those have been and then of course my assistant that I've had for years, Kerry Sargent. I learned a lot from him in reference to defensive strategies and changing defenses and things of that nature. Because one thing that, and I need to put this in here, as a coach, you need to surround yourself with good people because you don't know it all. So I'm strong. I might be strong in one area, but it's good to have some other people around you that can pull your coat and tell you, well, look, coach, we need to do this. And as a good coach, you need to learn and understand and let your assistants have some input. So those are one of the big factors for me.
Okay. For this upcoming season, girls basketball in Mallard Creek.
Mhm.
What are your expectations as far as team success and academic success?
Well, first of all, this year will be a unique year because we had five seniors, so they left, so they graduated and went on to college. So we're in a rebuild right now. So the biggest expectation for us is we get the girls to play together. We're not as skilled as we've been in the past, but the big thing is to get the girls to buy into what we're trying to do. And I would say if we can get them to buy in and learn the game, we should be relatively successful. I think if we can get to 500 season or a little bit above, we should be pretty good. Because anytime you lose five seniors, we only have one senior left now, and five graduated. So that's pretty tough. So you're basically going on your younger players, and then we had some challenges in reference to COVID and things of that nature. So that's kind of made it a little difficult. Academically, I've been pretty fortunate. Um, girls don't have the same type of academic challenges that girls are in a lot of cases sometimes a little bit more conscientious with your schoolwork. We're fortunate. I mean, now the way things are set up, I mean, if you want help and you want to do well, there's so much help available for you on campus at school. I mean, they give you opportunity teach to retest. They give you every Tuesday and Thursday. You can have, you can meet with your teachers to have tutoring sessions. So if you want to get it done, you can get it done. Get it done. Unfortunately, the girls over the years, I might have had maybe one, two, maybe three girls that struggled academically, and sometimes it was on them because they didn't put the effort in it that they should have. But the supporting cast at the school is so strong that if you want to do well, you're not going to have any problem.
Um, how much progress do you think that you have made towards basketball, especially in the state of North Carolina? Because the list of guys that you've coached, that you've listed, it sounds like your impact on the game has been amazing. What progress do you think that you have made towards the game?
Um, well, I think I think that we've been fortunate that I think the big thing is we've taught the game the right way. We've it's important to how we act, how we look, and how we carry ourselves on the road, at other people's schools, how we act on the court. We play hard, but we want to still have have character. I think the biggest thing is that we have good people that play hard and leave it on the lines. But it's important that you never know who's watching you, and that's one of the big things that we always share with them. How you carry yourself on and off the court is a big thing. I think image is everything, and especially now with social media. Image is everything.
Um, how these next two questions are kind of going to go hand in hand with each other. How
Okay.
influential have your players in the past been to your success?
Well, every good coach needs great players, and I was blessed with a lot of good players, but I think also in having great players, I was fortunate those guys bought into what I was trying to do, and then that's how we both were successful as a player and a coach. I mean, I wouldn't be what I am as a coach if I didn't have good athletes to buy into what I believed in and help them reach some of their goals. But every coach wants to be surrounded by good players, and I've been fortunate to be around a bunch of good athletes, both male and female.
Now, how many players that you have coached have gone on to become coaches?
Um, I would say, right off the top of my head, I would say at least, when you look at from recreation to high school to college, I would say about maybe somewhere between 10 to 12,
Okay.
you know, um, that have gone, and maybe even, if you added them, I'd be willing to say about 15 at different levels because some of them have coached AAU ball, some of them coach middle school ball. Got one young lady is the head coach at Rocky River. Um, and then I've had some guys that coach in college too. So I've been fortunate to get guys and young ladies at all different levels.
So I think you kind of touched on this earlier. Do
Mhm.
you ask their opinion about coaching strategies? Do you feel like you can get input from them as far as newer offenses or newer defenses that you can implement into your systems?
What I've done is I might not get their opinion, but I might go and observe their games or their practices and see how some of the things that they do that I can use. And I think one thing about it as a coach, good coaches borrow things from all different levels, either be NBA or college or high school. Um, you I go and I observe and watch what they do and see if how I can adapt it to my program. Now I will say a lot of guys that I've coached, we have the similar concepts. So, I might look at what they do and kind of tweak it to adapt to what I'm doing.
So when it comes to coach or parents now, how do you keep parents involved, but not to the point where they're telling you how to do your job?
Right. Well, that's tricky. I think as because remember I was saying earlier that it's important that you surround yourself with good people. I think you have to study your parents and see because parents can bring some good things to your program because you're going to have some parents that are good fundraisers. You're going to have some parents that are going to be good with team meals. You're going to have some parents that know the game. I think you just have to be cautious because parents, well, ultimately with parents, it's about their child. So you have to be careful that you get some that understand that now if you're going to help the team, it's about the team and not just your baby. But I try to find what some of them are good with because their things range from some of them are good at scorekeepers, some of them are good with clocks, some are good with social media or getting information out to the parents. So I try to figure out what their strengths are and kind of use it that way. And then I also know that some parents just can't do it, and they're just parents, and they come to the games and they chill, and that's cool too.
Hmm. Um, when you see your players go off and become lawyers, coaches, whatever they become, how does that make you feel?
That makes me feel great anytime a young person can go out and live their dream, no matter what it may be, because there's so many opportunities out there for them now. So I like the fact that that they're at least trying to do what they think is what they might like. So it makes it's a rewarding feeling for me because I like them to come back so that I can brag on them to the current athletes to say, look, this is so and so. And a lot of times we didn't see eye to eye, but they understood where I was coming from. I understood where they're coming from, and look at them now. They're doing they're either entrepreneurs or they're doing what they want to do, or they're doing like what you're doing, communications and things of that nature. So that's a big piece.
All right. So here's my last question from my main topic of questions.
Mhm.
What improvements do you think the school can make to improve student athletes' experiences, or do you think they've done a good enough job now?
I think. Well, I'm in a unique situation. I've got a great AD and a great principal, and I think on the high school level, um, if you have a good principal and a good AD, or even we're fortunate, our administration and our teachers, they really want to see the athletes do well. I think if the in our particular situation, if you can get the athletic director and the principal or the administrative staff to buy into what you're doing, you're going to be successful because they're going to make sure that the student athletes are going to class. They're going to make sure that they're working and not giving them grades, and they're going to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm fortunate enough that I've been at a place that holds the athletes accountable.
Now we've gotten through all the main questions that I wanted to get through.
Mhm.
Um, I want to say thank you. I
Oh,
really
no,
appreciate it.
no problem, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Um, when does your season start?
Well, we right now we have what they call workouts, volunteer workouts. So we'll have right now from now until about October the 15th. You'll have workouts, and then you'll have tryouts at the end of October, and then November 1, it gets real. You're allowed to get your two scrimmages in, and then your season starts in November.
What game, section of games or tournament are you looking forward to the most?
Um, well, in conference, our conference is so strong. All our games, all the conference games are going to be fun. To tell you, with this group, it's going to be interesting to see how they react because out of this group, this will be their first time being varsity players with the lights on them and dealing with the mystique of playing, Miller Creek basketball. Because we've had some great athletes that have come before them, and I always mess with them. I said, now you're going to have some teams that are going to try to beat you to death because when we used to play, when we were better, we used to beat them to death. So you got to be ready to buckle up and get ready. So I think all our conference games I'm looking forward to because this is a new experience for all of them. So I'll be spending a lot of time just watching and seeing how they react to it.
You said you got retirement in what, a year or two?
Yeah.
What are your plans for that?
Well, my plans right now is I'll always be involved in basketball or sports at some level. Currently, right now, developing a young lady, Carlin Dixon, to take over the program. Once I stop coaching at Mallon Creek, I'll probably still be involved at some level. I just haven't figured all of that out yet. So many little pieces in it that you can get involved in. So I got to figure all that out. Or I might resurface and coach somewhere else. You never know how things go.
Well, I want to say thank you.
Oh, my
this
pleasure,
has been
man.
an amazing interview. I got a lot of information out of you that I really appreciate. I'm gonna go to a game. So if you're watching this, please go to a game. But we will talk again either in the middle of the season or at the end of the season.
Okay.
Get your feelings and thoughts about what happened and where you could see improvement and things of that nature. But for right now, thank you. That's all I can say is thank you so much.
No problem. I'm glad that you get your dad shared with you, my name, and I appreciate that. And all the best to you, man.
I really appreciate it. So I will talk to you soon.
Okay.
For everybody watching, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Go watch your game. Tell him that I sent you, and he probably gonna laugh. But thank you. I love you.
Right.
Peace out.
All right.